The Nutcracker in the Four Realms is directed by Lasse Hallström and also co-directed by Joe Johnston, and this is based on the popular ballet called the Nutcracker Ballet by Marius Patipa and the book called The Nutcracker and the Mouse King by E.T.A. Hoffman.
Everybody knows the whole Nutcracker. It's a Christmas theme.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas theme.
And basically this film stars Mackenzie Foy, Helen Mirren, Keira Knightley, and Morgan Freeman, and also the kid from one of the kids from Ready Player One, who plays the Nutcracker, the title character. Yeah. And basically, this film deals with a girl who comes from like a family that's very into a lot of like classical music, and they're basically into dance.
It takes place in the old English times. Yeah, Victorian times of England.
Yeah, and basically, this girl, her name is Clara. She ends up going to this party that's basically there with her father and her siblings, and she comes across Morgan Freeman's character, who gives her tells her that there's basically a special place to open this kind of like thing that she has. Yeah. It's a key to open this thing. It's basically about her mother.
Yeah, it's about her mother. I don't know. I don't really think it's really a spoil.
I mean, you don't want to spoil it too much. I mean, we don't go into detail. Basically, it has to do with her mother. Yeah. And she's trying to look for clues about her mother and stuff. Yeah. And
and basically that her mom owned.
And basically, she goes throughout the house and discovers that there's a passageway that leads into another world, which is called the realms. The Four Realms area. And this whole mystical world is basically full of you got the sugar
it's a realm of candy. They call it the plum realm.
Yes.
Then you have the other realm that's like Iceland kind of thing, a flower realm, and then an amusement one, which is kind of like
the fourth realm.
Yeah, the fourth realm, because it's all like destroyed looking. Yeah. There's a reason why it's destroyed. So.
And basically, the plot deals with her like coming to. Well, could be at minimum, she has to try to recover this key from the fourth realm, which is where Helen Mirren's character is. And then we'll leave it there because we don't go into spoilers.
Well, yeah, it's
pretty straightforward.
If you've seen Alice in Wonderland and Chronicles of Narnia, it is really the same format.
Yes.
There's a history. Like, those two family come to this place in this world, and you got the main girl who pretty much is never been here before, and she's got connections.
Yes.
You've seen it before, so you kind of know what we're kind of going through. She's basically got to save this place. Yeah. So.
Now, just a little backstory. This film, one of the directors actually did some other films. He actually did What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and last year he also did A Dog's Purpose. The other director, Joe Johnston, if you may remember, he also did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and he also did the first Captain America film. And basically, from the trailers, I kind of got a little curious about this movie because I like the whole visual look of it and the way it's kind of got like the Christmas kind of feel of it and everything like that.
Yeah, I always just wish they would start putting these in Christmas time.
I know, they always bring them in November for some reason.
Nutcrackers definitely should have been a Christmas. That's a Christmas theme.
That's what I'm saying.
And, yeah, man. And I see these movies capture me because of the visuals, and I know they're going to be in 3D, and I love going to watch these in 3D.
So do I, definitely. Yeah. And basically, upon seeing the film, I could say that it was just a movie that just was there. Like it's. I'm sure. It wasn't bad. It was just I just didn't really care much.
It was there, but first, let me like to say that it's better to see this movie in 3D.
Yeah.
Because its 3D was great. Anything else, like I would probably been 10 times bored seeing this in 2D. And I know that, Eddie, well, you know what you're getting into, Yeah. And I like these type movies. It's just, this one was just so standard.
And so bland.
Bland, yeah. It was just a point A to point B. Pretty much nothing original. They carbon copied from so many fantasy films.
Yeah, and it's every cliche that from these other type of stories. I've done it several times. And while I haven't seen all the first Alice in Wonderland film, I can definitely tell that at least from the trailers and from the way the movie plays out, it pretty much is like the unofficial third film of that series.
Of what?
Of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
it's almost like that level. Yeah. But the biggest thing I have, because this is kind of starting with my cons, I'll start
with my pros real quick to get out of the way. Is I did love the Christmas theme in this.
I did too. I love the visual look that they use for the most part. The way they capture the winter and the way that they show
they have like Christmas trees.
Yeah, and they
Christmas
show the actual realms they go to are actually pretty. You know, they look fantastic.
Yeah, the realms are it's cool. It's a cool world. The visuals, cinematography was amazing. Like I said, 3D makes it even better.
Yes, absolutely. And I even like the girl. I liked Mackenzie Foy. She, if you remember her, she was also in Interstellar as Murph in that one, and she does fine here. You know, she gives her
perfect
all.
choice for that.
Yeah, and I also enjoyed the Nutcracker himself, the guy from Ready Player One. I thought he was
great. I thought he was good.
Yeah. And then I also got into some of the like classical tunes that you would expect them to play from the Nutcracker.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
that dee 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 dee.
Yeah,
I was really looking into those, and I did. I kind of enjoyed some of like the play stuff they have. You know, a lot of people were saying that this should have been a thoroughly like that.
Yeah,
because that's what it is.
Because it's based on a ballet.
I will say, for what it's worth, what they have in the movie, they do.
There are some sections where they do the whole like Nutcracker ballet thing that you typically see, which is cool. But and then also I can also say that for what it's given, you know, it's good to see Morgan Freeman. You know, I liked his character where it was at first and all that. But
I like his character. I like who he is. He's just not in it enough.
Yeah, he's not in it a lot.
He's the guy who gives her the key, and then it's the type of film where he's the one who gives the main character something, and then he comes at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You've seen that done a million times, yeah.
So this is pretty much now where we get to our cons. Like we were saying earlier, if you've pretty much seen Chronicles of Narnia, which is like the biggest thing it kind of goes with, you've seen this movie. Because much like in Chronicles of Narnia, you have a sequence where she goes through a house and goes through some type of door or whatever that leads to the
and it's snow.
And it's also snow. It's literally the same fucking scene almost from Narnia.
Yeah, I agree with him. I will say, like we were talking about earlier, we were liking a lot of the performances by people, and we liked the girl. Here goes my con. Keira Knightley was kind of cringy in this movie. And it's my problem with her was her acting was pretty standard, but her voice, she has this like really like, hey, Amy, squeak voice she does, and that shit was fucking annoying.
Yeah, that was the parts where I was cringing up while I was like, oh, this is
It's like taking your finger on a chalkboard. It's like, God dang,
it really got to me a lot with that. I was like, I mean, as much as the other kind of like characters that are part of these realms like are kind of talking like that too, she had the most like high pitched one out of all of them, and it just really was like, it was feeling like my ears were bleeding.
Like they were trying too hard to be like,
it was so over the top, basically.
Over the toppy world fantasy, trying to be like the Candyland-ish type thing, which man, I don't know. Yeah, like it was too forced, and it's not only that, she doesn't do it all the time, so it makes it very inconsistent.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, if you can do it on some scenes and not do it, why can you not just get rid of that fucking voice overall and just not do it?
Yeah, but another problem I have too is like going to some of the other performances. I felt like Helen Mirren, like she was just there, you know, she didn't really bring much to it. Cause
that's what I'm saying. Keira Knightley was the only one that was bad. It was the other ones weren't bad. It's just they weren't fucking there. They were
very hollow. Like that goes into the main problem with this movie, is that it's a very hollow story. Like there's really nothing in this film that really clicks to me. I've seen it done a lot before in like Chronicles of Narnia and some of those other films where they go to these type of worlds. Here, it's every cliche that you've seen from those other films.
They go. It's a pretty get here, then we gotta get here, and then we gotta get here. We gotta get the end. It's what it's doing. It's like it's really formulated, and it's just like, all right, you know, we got to do step A, step B, step C, and then we're done.
Every cliche in the book that you can think of.
Here's a thing that is a con that was a little bit more upsetting for me, was because I experienced it in 3D. What I've seen in 3D was like awesome. And then we get to the parts where, like, I want to see what these worlds look like. Like, you had the candy, like I said, the flower land, the ice land, and all that. Man, they let you see those worlds for like a split second.
And then they're gone.
And they're gone.
Because it's all
I was like,
in
man,
the
that's
same
a wasted,
scene, basically.
man. I want to see what it looked like.
And it's all under like a minute.
Yeah.
You know?
Which goes into now another con I have. There was some CGI in this film that was cringe.
Yeah, there's a part where it shows like a waterfall, and I felt like, I mean, he saw Hurricane Heist, and it's not on that level, but it's almost like It seems like Hollywood has a hard time making CGI work in water.
For what it's worth, it's got great rendered CGI. I'm just bitching about there's some scenes and it's generally water all the time.
Yeah,
that never looks good. And there was also a fight sequence with the amusement lady at the end when she's whipping her whip and you were staring at your phone.
Yeah,
and she was fighting the little Nutcracker soldier guys, the metal soldier dudes, and they were fighting her, and they were rendered bad in that scene.
They looked very artificial looking to the point that, which I get they're supposed to resemble.
Artificial, like they were put in the screen with that wrapped around green screen.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like to me. I was like,
yeah, it really looked. You know, I know that they're supposed to represent toys like in that look, but it still came across as very badly look.
The way the director rendered the CGI to let them look like it's real and they're in this world. In some scenes, it looked kind of funky.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, there's more I want to go into detail, but that's really like the bare basics. I mean, it's really just a nothing film for me. Yeah. Like, I'm sure there might be kids that might enjoy this because that's probably.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there are some sequences later when they get to the fourth round, which can be a little creepy for some kids to watch.
Yeah, clowns and stuff. Yeah.
But for the most part, I think that kids might probably get into this as far as like the way the visual look goes.
It's not dog shit like I've been seeing other reviews. Like, people are like talking about putting this in their top 10 worst and all this dumb shit. It's nowhere near that bad.
No.
However, it is not that great either at all. No. And it's something, personally, I could live the rest of my life if it never fucking seen it again.
Yeah, this is a one and done film that I probably won't watch again.
Yeah.
Just it's with the exception of being in 3D for this one time.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm going to give the film a low average Joe on the Film Phreeks meter.
Low average Joe and the Film Phreeks meter for me too.
Fair enough. For those of you who have also seen the Nutcracker in the Form Realms, let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like, subscribe to our channel, and check out some of our other reviews here on our website at filmphreeks.com. And we'll be seeing you on our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.